Appreciate you hearing me out today. I was in your seats not too long ago. I worked for my famous headquarters for 2.5 years after graduation, so I know you don't do it for the money. But I'm here really on behalf of Affinity Consultants, but also your headquarters. So your headquarters employs Affinity Consultants to help enforce your trademark. So really I'm here to speak on their behalf. And we'll just jump into it. So I like to start these conversations with why. Why is trademark licensing important? Our entire business is premised upon this idea that your marks have a value above and beyond mere decoration, and that it's the meaning behind those marks that deserves protection. This is not unlike any other major brand, like McDonald's, what have you. We believe that your marks deserve respect and protection. That's what we're here to assist you with. So what does it mean exactly for a Greek organization to own a trademark? It means a few things. First, it means those marks are likely registered with the Federal Patent and Trademark Office. Second, it means that your headquarters are the exclusive owners of those marks, and that's important because the members don't actually own these marks, only the headquarters does. So much like myself as a AAA member, I don't have the ability to grant the commercial use of the AAA logo. Neither does your chapter members have the ability to commercially grant the use of your trademarks. And last, these marks are really property. And with that comes some responsibilities, and we'll get into that later. But the big three in general are your crest, your Greek letters, and the English spelling of your name. Some groups have things in addition to these, such as their nicknames. Beta Theta Pi, for example, has Beta's trademark. But these are the big three. So it may come as no surprise that your marks are misused right now. Hopefully it shouldn't shock anybody. A little bit about what we do. We've shut down 8 pornography companies. We've prevented fraternity-branded condoms, and we prevent hundreds of t-shirts from being circulated every year that promote alcohol, drugs, profanity, racism, what have you. And this is really some of the more tame examples of what's out there, let's be honest. I'm sure you guys have seen worse. But this whole issue really begs the question, why is it we have this problem in the first place if we're supposedly values-based leadership organizations? And I think I have the answer. I think it's because it's funny. Now, I don't mean to imply that I think it's funny personally, or that maybe any of you as individuals think it's funny, but the fact is, there's some humor in this, and the chapter members, the guys and women that are out there ordering these products, see some humor in it. So whether you yourself are asking this question right now or not, you will certainly encounter someone in your travels who will ask you this question. And if we hope to address this problem, we really need to have an intelligent and compelling answer to this. So that's what I'm here to provide. And it's a two-parter. The first is there's a threat of loss of ownership of these marks. And the second is there's the threat of loss of symbolic meaning. So I'll take them one at a time. You may ask yourself, is ownership of these marks really in danger? And the answer is absolutely yes. In the past 10 years or so, we've been through 4 major legal battles. And by major, I mean a number of Greek organizations have been involved, and hundreds of thousands of dollars have been spent defending this idea that Greek organizations have a right to own their own trademarks. And this is hundreds of thousands of dollars, and this is undergraduate dues money that's being spent to protect this idea. And in fact, we're currently in a federal lawsuit where on one side we have 33 Greek organizations, many of whom are represented in this room right now. And on the other side, there's a company that is suing the collective Greek organizations, claiming that those organizations don't have a right to their own trademarks. In fact, that they've lost the right to those trademarks through failure to control. So this is very much a real pressing concern. It is today. Some of you may wonder, well, aren't these marks federally registered? You can't simply just lose them. And the answer is yes, but there's more to it than that. Trademark owners have what's called an obligation to control. So unlike, say, a copyright that you can file away at the trademark office and have it forever, trademark owners have to actively control the use of their mark or they'll lose the right to it. And if you consistently fail to control the use of your mark, it could constitute what's called abandonment of that mark, and then it becomes public domain and you lose the right of ownership. So the bottom line here is that The single easiest way to lose the rights to your organization's own trademarks is to do nothing in the face of their misuse. So it's an important question that we need to deal with. Now let's just play this out. We know we're in some current legal battles right now, and really what's the worst that could happen if we lose the rights to our own trademarks? Well, let's play this out. So take yourself back to a time when you were an undergraduate. Imagine halfway through your undergraduate career, your organization were to suddenly lose the rights to its own trademark. How would your group then differentiate itself from other Greek groups on campus? What would it be like if any individual or group could use your marks without your permission? Literally, another student group could take the same Greek letters, throw them up on a house across the street, and compete against you in recruitment as the same named organization. And you would have no legal recourse. So it's a very real concern. More importantly, though, how would you represent what you stand for? I remember walking around campus at Willamette, and with my fraternity's letters across my chest and feeling that there's a sense of pride in it, that I had earned that. Well, what if just anyone were to be able to do that? I mean, that would have had just a devastating impact on my Greek experience. And yet we speak with vendors who every week challenge us on this idea that Greek organizations don't own the rights to their own trademarks. So again, it's a very real, pressing concern. And yet, our marks do more than just merely differentiate us. They represent what we stand for, which sort of leads into my second consideration. Some of you may be wondering, is the symbolic meaning of our marks really endangered merely by virtue of circulation of a few offensive t-shirts out there? To that I would ask a question. So, by a show of hands, who here has at one point or another felt that Greeks have been unfairly labeled and perceived as like alcoholics or elitist or what have you? Never bad things. And I'm there along with you, and it frustrates me. But the fact is, the public's perception is our reality when it comes to this issue. You know, some believe that we're on the losing side of a PR battle against Greek organizations, and I've dedicated my collegiate career and now my professional life to the defense of Greek life, so I refuse to believe that. But the fact is, the systematic misuse of these trademarks powerfully impacts that perception that we're trying to change out there. So, for example, to the mom in the grocery store who has a son or daughter who is about to join a college, she sees a t-shirt that uses profanity, promotes drugs or alcohol, what have you. It doesn't matter what your organization actually stands for. It doesn't matter how many community service hours your organization has actually done. What matters is the fact that there's a perception out there that's running contrary to all the collective millions of dollars we've spent on values-based leadership program, and values-based recruitment, and all of these positive things. So, in this capacity, every misuse of your trademarks erodes away the symbolic meaning that they have. Now, you may be thinking, this is a pretty depressing presentation. And I apologize for that, but the depressing part's over because there's actually good news here, and that is that there's already a mechanism in place for controlling the use of these trademarks. It's called Greek licensing. Just out of curiosity, by a show of hands, who here is familiar with Greek licensing? Okay, excellent. Fair bit of you. For those that aren't familiar, Greek licensing is a process by which vendors can become licensed and sell quality goods to members. And quality here is an important word, not only in the sense of we make sure that the goods are of good craftsmanship and that members aren't taken advantage of by vendors, but also quality means that we don't allow them to produce goods that run contrary to the mission and values of your organization. So everything that we've talked about. So the great thing about Greek licensing is that it addresses both of these problems we talked about. This issue of ownership, protects your ownership, it shows active control, and it protects this symbolic meaning by controlling the types of goods that are out in the marketplace. More good news, almost every organization represented here is a client of ours, so we assist you with this. We got that going for you. But